Dating apps are algorithmically programmed to keep you addicted to something that your body and your mind are predisposed to become addicted to. It's the chase. It's chasing something that you want to achieve, something that you want to capture. And the reality is that when you're on dating apps, they know that. And so if your goal is to find a partner, a girlfriend, a wife, whatever it is, the reality is that a dating app is a good place to meet somebody, but you have to be aware of the fact that they're designed to get you to stay on the app. And so let's talk a little bit about what that means. You probably go on a dating app because you're lonely or you're bored, but let's start with lonely. You're lonely and you're looking for a girlfriend. And so you swipe. And the reality is about being on a dating app, you're not in the wrong place. You are in the right place because there's so many channels and so many people that talk about going up to a girl and introducing yourself and saying, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'd love to get to know you. Let's go for a coffee, whatever. And while of course that works, that girl, if she's single, probably also is on a dating app. This whole idea that, quality girls or quality people in general don't use dating apps, they meet in the real life, is nonsense because everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has a smartphone. And on that smartphone, if they're single, most likely is a dating app. No, not at all times. There are people who decide to take breaks from dating apps. I've been one of them because, like I said before, they're designed to get you addicted. And if you're aware enough to recognize that you're in that sort of cycle of addiction, then sometimes, yeah, you cut it off your phone. But for the most part, people are on dating apps. And so if you're lonely and you're looking for somebody else who might also be lonely, then yeah, a dating app is a good place to be. But the problem arises where you start meeting people and you go out one after the other, and you begin to stray from your original goal, which was to meet a girlfriend. You're watching this content online that tells you, keep your options open, spin as many plates as you can, have all these girls that you're talking to. And if you're one of those guys who is in a position to actually be able to do that, so let's say, you've taken care of yourself, you might make a decent income, etc., you have a level of independence that might attract her, whatever, you begin to brainwash yourself into thinking that's the way to do things, that just have all of these different women that you're talking to. But the problem is that feeds further into this algorithmic addiction, which is you're constantly swiping, and you're getting these dates, sure, which they may or may not follow through. A lot of people flake on these apps, as you know, but you're getting these dates. You're never going to be satisfied because you've fundamentally programmed yourself on two fronts to continue to look. Even when you found someone great, continue to search. The first front is this content that you're consuming that's telling you to spin all these plates, like I mentioned. But the other one is the dating app itself, which is, again, algorithmically designed to keep you on this app and keep you swiping, because then they can deliver ads to you, or they can suggest that you sign up for their premium subscription or whatever. You have to remember these companies are businesses. And so again, if you're lonely, looking for someone else that's lonely on a dating app will work for a bit until you get addicted, because it is inherently addictive to see all this potential that you could be dating and you swipe. It's the same thing as porn, to be honest. You keep seeing all of this potential, all this, attractive, erotic potential that you might have an interaction with. Or porn is like, again, you might pleasure yourself to watching some garbage on the internet or whatever. The first point is really a nuanced one. Again, if you're lonely, you are able to find someone else that's lonely because everyone has these apps on their phone. That is true, but they're designed, especially for men, it's going to keep them very much addicted. Now, let's talk about if you're bored. Boredom really is just an expression of you not chasing your purpose. Now, I've talked in other videos about what your purpose is. I have another video called Chase Your Masculine Mission. But the reality is that if you're bored and you're on a dating app, you're looking for the cheap sort of dopamine that, again, pornography or maybe, excessive video games might give you. And this is a rabbit hole because, again, this goes back to the whole topic of this video, which is it's just fueling an addiction to this prospective novelty that's just going to ruin and rot your brain. And that's the exact tool that you need to begin to chase your purpose, because all of us here have a higher mission. We have something that we want to go and build, and that could be a business, that could be a family, that could be whatever it is. But the truth is that if you're addicted to something and you're willfully entering into this addiction over and over because you're lonely or bored, then you're probably going to stay that way. You're going to stay bored because eventually the swiping is just going to have to elevate to something else. You're going to get back into watching porn. You're going to fall back into that addiction. Or you're going to stay lonely because every single time you meet someone that's a good person that you actually could have strong vibes with, you go back to the swipe because you've spent long enough on it that, again, you're addicted. And so I wanted to bring to your attention, bring to your awareness that you must use these apps with rules. You must use them if you're looking for someone. I'm not against using these apps. However, you must have rules around them that you obey. And that's that you might only have it on your phone for a week, and then a week without it, and then a week with it on, and then a week with it off. Something like that. You might only use it for a certain period throughout the day, or not before a certain time of day. What rules will be beneficial to you depends on what kind of person you are, the kind of lifestyle you live, and the routine that you're on. I can't give you the exact rules, but what I can tell you is you need to bring your awareness to the fact that a dating app is not the same thing as walking down the street and seeing a few different women and approaching one or two. It's not the same, because there's no difficulty in swiping on someone and shooting them a quick message. There's no difficulty there. And so you can get so addicted because there's nothing that's even standing in your way as some sort of resistance in order to overcome and then get the actual girl. You can just swipe and see if it works out and play the law of averages. So again, guys, the whole purpose of this is to recognize the addiction so that you don't rot your brain and hurt yourself from chasing a larger purpose, which will probably get you out of both loneliness and boredom, because you'll be able to attract whoever you want if you're really on your masculine mission, really on your purpose. So guys, I hope that was valuable for you. This was something that honestly younger me needed to hear, and so I'm really just making that for him. I hope that any of my brothers out there, if you guys are really kind of into this content, that you guys drop this a like, leave me a comment. I love talking with you guys, or shoot me an email. Again, I'll either make a video response or I respond directly in the comments, so please interact with me. I love talking with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Spencer with Must Become. Always remember that your potential is your obligation, and so what you can become, you must become.